girls, and welcome back to my channel. So on today's video we are going to compare two foundations, one drugstore and one high-end. So I'm going to compare the Nars Skin Reflecting Foundation and the Catrice True Skin Hydrating Foundation. So I thought of comparing these two foundations because I have been hearing good things about this foundation, the Catrice True Skin Hydrating Foundation. This retails for $13.99 Canadian dollars at my local drugstore, and this retails for 65 Canadian dollars at Sephora. So there's a really big price difference, and as I've mentioned before, both of them are hybrid foundation. The Catrice one has hyaluronic acid and watermelon seed oil, and this one has biomimetic oat, Japanese lily turf, and cacao peptides and milk thistle. The Catrice foundation also is paraben free, gluten free, alcohol free, vegan, no animal testing, and the Nars foundation is also formulated without mineral oil, silicone, talc, fragrance, alcohol, parabens, SLS and SLES, phthalates, PEG, and gluten. So they both have good ingredients in them, and they both have skincare ingredients in them. So on this video we are going to test their wearability. We're also gonna look at this foundation on photography with flash and non-flash and how it feels on the face. So if you want to know more about these two foundations, just keep on watching. Okay, let's do the try on. So on the right side I'm going to use the Nars, and on my left side I'm going to use the Catrice Hydrating Foundation. I'm going to swatch both of the foundation on the back of my hand so you can see the difference when it comes to consistency. So that's how the Nars foundation looks like, and this is how the Catrice looks like. I would say they have almost the same consistency. Maybe the Nars is just a tad bit thicker than the Catrice, but they're almost the same. So I got the shade PUNJAB for Nars and 40 Neutral Hazel for the Catrice. The Catrice looks more beigey and the Nars looks warm. The thing with the shades for the Catrice, they really jump off like 30, 40, and then I think if it's 50 or 60, but the next one to 40 is really dark. So I think you have to mix the foundation just to have your right shade, but hopefully this wouldn't be too obvious side by side. So I'm gonna start with the Catrice on my right side. It has a little citrus scent to it. But so far the coverage is really good. I would say with one pump I can already have that medium coverage, and it's giving me a semi-matte finish. Now let's go with the Nars side. So this is the Nars side. I'd say that the Nars side gives you that glowy, dewy look, and the Catrice side looks more matte. So the Nars is definitely more warm than the Catrice, but then again there's just not a lot of shade options for Catrice, so I just went with whatever is the closest to my skin tone. When it comes to coverage with one pump, I find that the Catrice gives you more of that medium coverage, and the Nars side with one pump will only give you a light coverage. So I'll add one more pump to my Nars.
I grew up in a place where they told you what to chase, told you how to run the race.
Now I think that the coverage looks the same. So you would actually need two pumps for the Nars side to get this medium coverage from Catrice. I'm going to do just a half pump of the Catrice on my left side And let's see how buildable this is. And I'm also going to do a half pump on my Nars side. So this is how the foundation looks like with 2.5 pump from the Nars side and 1.5 pump from the Catrice. I think at this point we are at full coverage. The obvious thing that you would notice between these two foundations is that the Nars side is really glowy, while the Catrice side is giving me like a demi matte finish. It still has a little glow to it, but not as glowy as the Nars one. When it comes to blurring out my pores, I thought that the Nars would actually really do well because of all the foundations that I have been trying. The Nars is really the one that I trust when it comes to blurring my pores. Although on my right side, my pores are really more prominent than on my left side. But the Catrice side, since it's a demi matte finish, it really helped in blurring out the pores on the side of my cheeks. And again, when it comes to coverage, as you can see, when we did the try on with the Catrice, you only need a little amount of foundation to get into a medium coverage. Meanwhile, the Nars, you really have to build it up so that you can have that full coverage. Shade wise, the Nars for sure looks warmer than the Catrice. So hopefully I don't look super weird wearing two different foundations on. I'm actually liking the Catrice side better. I like the glow of the Nars side, but this one is really giving me good coverage and it's really helping me hide and blur my pores. So I'm going to finish my makeup and then I'll be back. So now that I finished my makeup, to be honest, I can't really see a difference now. When I put the foundation freshly on, I could really see the glow on the Nars side. But once I set both of my foundations with my Maybelline Fit Me Loose Finishing Powder, they both look the same. I would say the Catrice side looks more matte, but only if you really look up close. When it comes to glow, yeah, there's still more glow on the Nars side than on the Catrice side. But I also put on a blush with a little shimmer on it, so you can see the glow on the Catrice side. But like if you look here where there's no blush, you can actually see that the Nars still has that glow and the Catrice side is more matte. The photos, they look very much identical. They both don't have any flashbacks. So now the only test that will be left is its wearability. But I forgot, before that, they also feel so light on the face, both of them. And now that I have the powder on, both of them feels really smooth on the face. So really, I'm very confused which one to choose. So far, the drugstore foundation is actually performing as good as the high-end foundation. But we'll see how this two foundation wears throughout the day. So I'll be updating you and I'll be back. So I'm back and it has been around 5 hours. I'm gonna go closer so you can see. So this is the Catrice side. And this is the Nars side. The coverage is still there. It's still giving me that full coverage. The only thing is the foundation rubbed off on the center of my nose. Everything else is still intact. I even still have my blush on and my contour powder. Nothing really moved. There's a little foundation that's building on the side of my nose, but that is showing off on both sides, so they're the same. So I think I can give you my final thoughts. I think from the very start, the main difference between these two foundations is that the Nars Skin Light Reflecting Foundation is more glowy than the Catrice side. The Catrice will give you a soft matte finish, while the Nars Skin Reflecting will give you that glow. And because of that glow, my pores looks more visible on the Nars side than on the Catrice side. But also the pores on my right side is bigger than on my left side, and that's why I use the Nars Skin Light Reflecting on my right side, because I know that the Nars can really help blur my pores. And I've used this foundation before, so I know that this can really blur out my pores. So I think that the Catrice side just have an advantage because this side of my face has smaller pores than my right, but they both blur out my pores, especially when I put the Maybelline powder on top. So it's really hard to decide which one to choose. If you're in a tight budget, for sure get the Catrice True Skin Foundation, because this is only 14 Canadian dollars. This is 11 US dollars, and this one is 65 Canadian dollars, around 50 US dollars. So there's really a big difference between these two when it comes to price. So if we're talking about budget, for sure get the Catrice one, but I wouldn't say it's really a dupe of each other. I would say they both perform really well. The only difference is the glow. When I was asking my husband and my friend, they both like the Catrice side on photos because it looks smoother, my pores doesn't show up that much. But on videos, when I video called my friend Jasper, hi Jasper, thank you for helping me out, he said that on video he likes the Nars side better because it looks more skin-like, it looks more natural, while this side looks like I really have makeup on. And my husband also voted the Nars side because for him this side looks smoother. I think because of that glow, your face looks smoother with the Nars, and because this is more matte in person, this doesn't look skin-like. I even asked my friends and followers on Instagram, and you wouldn't believe it, 40% said that they like the right side, another 40% like the left side, and the remaining 20% said that they don't know which one to choose because it really looks the same to them. So I would say that if you have really oily skin, go with the Catrice one because it can give you that soft matte finish. But if you're more on the drier side, go with the Nars one. But honestly, I like these two foundations. I have been using this foundation for a few months now, and I always get complimented every time I use this because I look like I have good skin. This is my first time to use this True Skin Hydrating Foundation from Catrice, and I would recommend this especially for people with oily skin. I think that it is a good buy. I think the reason why the Nars foundation is more expensive than this is because this one has more skincare ingredients. If you don't need a lot of skincare ingredients in your foundation, really go with the Catrice one. For $14, you can't go wrong. So that's it. If you have any more questions that I didn't get to talk about in this review, just comment down below and I'll be happy to answer all of your questions. I hope that you find this video helpful. On my next video, I'll be comparing the True Skin Hydrating Foundation from Catrice to the HD Liquid Coverage Foundation from Catrice as well. This one claims to last up to 24 hours, so we'll see about that. So don't forget to like this video, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you'll always be updated once a new video is out. Thank you so much else again for watching. I'll see you in my next one.